My name is Regina Garson, and sometimes I write poetry. Today I'm going to read a poem I wrote not long after my daddy passed away. It's called Wildflowers in the Field. Mama and I decided to take a walk, look for wildflowers out by the field where we used to have the garden. We walked out by the edge of the woods, or what used to be the woods, a long time ago. Clear cutting changed that. Now it's just a little wooded patch inside the old pasture. We went walking out there looking for wildflowers. They were tiny, scattered, and not quite abundant. Yarrow, buckwheat, and minute purple flowers. Neither of us knew the name of the purple flowers. There are also pink sweet williams, though, creeping phlox. Some call it stinking Billy. Mama knows that story, and she can explain it, but I can't. Walking by the edge of what used to be the forest, there were fleabane daisies and tiny yellow clover flowers. They're wild too. I mean, the little yellow clover flowers may be wild, but it's hard to say. Maybe they're not wild at all. I remember the first time we broke that ground and planted a garden. Beans, potatoes, radishes, and corn. I sure did love fresh corn from the field. Always did. And Daddy always made sure there was some planted just for me. I remember how we used to dig and hoe till we didn't think we could lift that hoe another time. That ground was hard, but we dug it and we planted it. Daddy had an old rusty plow. I never remember it being anything but rusty. He must have got it from somewhere. Not new. I mean, it was always old. If you had a mule, you hooked it to that. If you didn't, you pushed it. Sometimes there was a mule, and sometimes there wasn't. Later, there was a tractor. Whatever we had to do to get it done, we got that field plowed. Then we carefully placed each seed into the rich pea ridge dirt. Sure was good dirt on the ridge. We counted those seeds carefully, the right number for each vegetable, hill, and row, and the right space apart. Then we watched as they sprouted. It takes more than a day to tend a garden, pulling the weeds. Some folks can't tell the difference in a weed and a wildflower. We figured it out though, or we thought we did. We picked beans, dug potatoes, and pulled corn out in the field with Mom and Daddy. We knew the feel of the heat of the sun, the feel of sweat on our brow. Year after year we toiled. We knew how to work, and we grew strong, fed well on the harvest of that field. We're all grown now. The garden has been replaced by a field of red clover. Daddy planted it for his bees. The red clover is lush, abundant. I remember picking clover bouquets when I was a child. I sure did love a bouquet of red clover. Now the ground is still soft from the last time Daddy had it plowed. Mama and I stepped carefully so as to not trip over the clumps of soil. They were not fully settled from the last time that ground was turned. There had not been enough rain yet to pack the earth. The soft ground stands ready. It'd be easy digging now. To plant a garden in that well-tended field, it sure would be a good garden. But Mama and I were looking for wildflowers that day. Daddy's beehives were stacked empty by the side of the field. The blackberries were abundant, though. Two good patches were blooming across the way. It'll be a good blackberry harvest this year, I said. Mama shook her head. There won't be much left after the deer and turkeys get their fill. The woods aren't what they used to be. We both knew that. But the clover was lush, abundant, red waves of nectar. Daddy saw to that. It was for his bees. It could be that Daddy had planted the yellow clover too. I grew up on the taste of sweet clover and wild honey. But the hives are empty now, rotting. The bees are gone. Daddy's gone too. But the fields don't know it yet. Mom and I walked back to the house.